Welcome back to another episode of Particle Word for Word, the podcast where we bring Particle WA stories to life. Today's story is one of renewable energy, with 3 Particle 101s about solar, wave and wind energy. The stories were written by Emily Evans and read by Kat Williams. Let's start where all good stories start, ancient Greece. Before solar energy rebates and 90-metre-long wind blades, Grecians utilised the energy they had. It was green, it was natural, and it was renewable. Warming their homes with sunlight, powering boats by harnessing the wind, using water wheels to grind grain into flour. Biofuels lit lamps. Guided by nature's rhythm, they used what was openly available. Renewable energy isn't new, it's ancient wisdom reborn. Ancient Greeks weren't the only ones to harness the earth's power. Ancient China, Persia, and Rome all opted for similar strategies. Renewable energy powered their homes, themselves, their communities. It's hard to imagine where we'd be without it. Grain couldn't have been ground, water couldn't have been pumped, homes couldn't have been heated. Humans may not have survived. The excitement of the Industrial Revolution and the ability to do things faster and more effectively took hold. Our drive to innovate and lack of knowledge about what consequences our actions held let our imaginations about the power of what could be possible run wild. Of course, we now know what happens when fossil fuels are burnt relentlessly. Now, innovation has to turn to renewables. We need solutions that power our homes, ourselves and our communities. So, where better to start than the flaming ball of energy in the sky that's been powering itself and its surroundings for more than 4 billion years. The sun.
Particle 101. Solar energy. Solar power is Australia's largest source of renewable energy and it's tipped to rise. The sun is a vital part of life on Earth. You could say life on our planet literally revolves around it. It powers all living things through the light and heat it brings. The same power provides electricity to homes and businesses around the world. In Australia, solar power is the largest source of clean energy, making up 47% of all renewable energy generated by the nation. Solar power is created when light radiated from the sun is absorbed by solar technology, then converted into electricity or heat. There are 2 types of solar technology. Solar thermal, which converts sunlight into heat, is used to warm substances such as air or water. But the most common technology is solar photovoltaic, or solar PV cells. These cells are encased in solar panels and placed in locations where sunlight is readily available, such as your roof. Solar panels collect light and heat from the sun, which is converted into electricity and transported to where it is needed via infrastructure like power lines. Full charge ahead. Similar to wind energy, large volumes of solar energy can be generated through solar farms or solar parks, a collection of thousands of solar panels in one location. The largest commercial solar farm in WA is the Merredin Solar Farm, 260 kilometres east of Perth in the Wheat Belt. More than 354,000 solar panels placed across 4.6 square kilometres can generate enough energy to power roughly 42,000 homes. The number of commercial solar farms in WA is expected to triple over coming years, but West Australians don't have to wait to access this renewable power. Sun's out, panels out. 1 in 3 Australian households now use solar panels to power their homes, reducing the cost of power bills and greenhouse gas emissions. The drawback with solar energy is it can only be generated when the sun is shining. However, solar energy batteries have been designed in recent years to capture and store power. This means solar energy can be saved for a rainy day or night, making it longer-lasting renewable energy option. As more Australians realise the benefits of solar power, its use will only rise, as sure as the sun rises every day.
Of course, there are limits to the sun's energy. Most pressingly, it doesn't shine at night time. There is a form of renewable energy that runs at all times. Australia has plenty of it. With our endless coastline and fondness for the beach, it's no surprise that we have the largest source of wave energy in the world. Wave energy isn't the only way to get water powering us along. Dams and hydropower are used throughout Australia, primarily New South Wales and Tasmania, although not without controversy. Like ancient civilizations before us, we use water to power us.
Particle 101. Wave energy. Australia has the largest global resource of wave energy and it has huge potential to power the nation. The sound of waves crashing is known to be soothing, but wave power can provide more than relaxation. Wave power has the potential to leverage the sway of the ocean and strength of the swell to generate electricity for towns and cities. But the technology designed to harness this power is still in the early stages. Ride the wave. Wave energy is created through the up and down motion of the ocean. This movement is captured by wave energy converters, which turn it into electricity before it is fed into power grids. There are different types of wave energy converters, including a floating buoy, a partially submersible device, and an underwater structure that can be mounted on the seabed. But harnessing the ocean has its challenges. The corrosive nature of salt water and physical force of waves hamper efforts to advance this technology past the prototype stage. In WA, one of these technologies is being tested as part of the Albany M4 Wave Energy Demonstration Project, delivered by UWA, Blue Economy Cooperative Research Centre and the WA Government. A floating device was recently deployed into Albany's King George Sound with the goal of demonstrating the feasibility of wave energy as a renewable power resource. A floating device was recently deployed into Albany's King George Sound with the goal of demonstrating the feasibility of wave energy as a renewable power source. Current of change. While this technology is still being tested, scientists believe wave energy will be critical to achieve the nation's net zero targets. Australia has the largest and most consistent wave energy resource in the world, located along the southern coastline. This natural resource has the potential to generate nearly 5 times the nation's energy requirements each year. Some researchers believe wave energy could advance rapidly enough to provide 11% of Australia's energy by 2050. But the power produced by the ocean is not the only form of energy generated by water in Australia. When it rains, it powers. Hydropower makes up more than 18% of the nation's total generated renewable energy, third only to solar and wind power. Hydropower is created when water from rivers, streams or reservoirs is funneled through water turbines, pushing the blades as it flows through the system, which generates electricity. There are more than 120 operating hydroelectric power stations around Australia, mainly in New South Wales and Tasmania, when rainfall and land elevation is highest. The problem with hydropower is that it requires rainfall to generate energy, which can be difficult in a country as dry as Australia. Luckily for us, Australia is an island surrounded by an ocean that is on track to be the next renewable energy power source.
The sun and water are 2 of Australia's 3 biggest renewable energy sources. The other, in the top 3, wind. Wind is arguably one of the earliest forms of renewable energy, with evidence of ancient Egypt using it to power their boats across the Nile River around 5000 BC. Persia, current-day Iran, was the first to create and use windmills, but by the time the 12th century rolled around, Dutch people were famous for their wind-powered innovations. The primary idea is the same: use wind to push some blades around a central post. Of course, as engineering and materials advanced, so did our ability to harness the wind. From rickety wheels in ancient Persia to small wooden structures in the Dutch countryside grew the futuristic-looking 130-metre-tall white mean machine, also known as a modern wind turbine. Some parts of Australia are very windy, and it's in those places where these turbines are placed. They turn wind into clean, renewable energy.
Particle 101. Wind energy. The use of wind energy to create power dates back to medieval times, but today, wind power generates more than a third of Australia's renewable energy. Anyone standing outside on a gusty day has experienced the power of wind. The strength of this natural movement of air has been harnessed as an energy source in agriculture for more than 1,000 years. But the wind energy generated today is used for much more than moving water or grinding grain. Easy breezy energy. Wind energy is steadily becoming a reliable source of power for Australian cities and towns. It's created by harnessing gusts and gales using wind turbines. When the wind blows, it turns giant blades, similar to an aeroplane propeller, at the top of the turbine. It's created by harnessing gusts and gales using wind turbines. When the wind blows, it turns giant blades, similar to an airplane propeller, at the top of the turbine. The rotation of the blades spins an electric generator, producing electricity that is fed into the power grid. Modern commercial wind turbines are similar to the traditional windmills used in farming, but they are significantly larger. These turbines can stand up to 150 metres tall, and each blade can span up to 90 metres long. Placing dozens of these huge machines in a windy location, also known as a wind farm, can produce enough energy to power entire cities. Harvesting the wind. In WA, the regional city of Albany benefits from renewable energy produced by a wind farm. On the outskirts of town, 18 turbines face the Southern Ocean, where wind gusts can reach more than 60 kilometres per hour. The powerful ocean breeze enables the wind farm to generate more than 35 megawatts of electricity, equal to 80% of Albany's annual power needs. The Albany wind farm is one of 20 currently operating across WA, with hundreds of turbines scattered across Australia and plans to bring more online in coming years. Winding up for a clean future. In WA alone, there are more than 30 wind projects in the pipeline to help deliver renewable energy to the state. Wind power currently makes up 35% of total generated renewable energy in Australia, second only to solar power. As new wind farms are developed, this figure is expected to grow to 50% by 2030, which will help the nation as it aims to reduce emissions and reach net zero targets.
There's something powerful about renewable energy. I'm not talking about its ability to light our world, power our trains, or charge our laptops. I'm talking about how we can use the natural world to make it all happen. A gust of wind here, a big wave there, and glare of the sun can make our lives more livable. We've turned our innovation before, in the initial move from traditional renewable energy to burning fossil fuels. Now, we just need to turn it back. Scientists and engineers are creating some of the most efficient and effective renewable technologies. Their innovation has led them back to using ancient ideas with modern techniques. Now, we just need the rest of the world and the decision makers to turn their innovative minds back too. Renewable energy isn't a woke, hippy-dippy ideology. It's an ancient practice and ancient ideas, just this time it's got a modern twist. Renewables will safeguard our way of life and energise our future. For more science stories like this, visit Particle WA at particle.scitech.org.au.